for joining me here on YouTube. I'm here today to talk to you about my upcoming shoot series. I decided to title this project Aesthetic Through the Ages, and basically what I'm going to be doing is making a fun kind of themed project around every single decade from the 1920s to the 2020s. And I'm just really excited to introduce this project to you guys. I've just been thinking about this for a long time, and I'm so glad that I'm finally just doing it. I'm just really excited to start sharing this project because it's just so important to me to kind of like give recognition to the things that inspire me. And I think like the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, that era especially just kind of inspires my style, how I dress, how I edit, all like the film vibes on my page. It's just so important that I kind of give recognition where it belongs, you know what I mean? So over these next videos, I'll be going over kind of my favorite things from the decades, my favorite things that have inspired shoots that I've already posted, and then each shoot that I plan will kind of be based around either like a figure of importance from that era that really inspired me, or a movie, a model, an artist, whatever it is. I might end up doing a couple shoots per decade because honestly, once I get to the 70s, I don't know if I'm ever going to stop doing this. So I'm really excited to get started, and I'm going to show you guys today how kind of I started the process. You already know I love my Pinterest boards and everything like that, so I'll start there and I'll start showing you how I'm going to edit the 1920s shoot, which I already did. Okay, so let's get into the 1920s then. I'm gonna pull up my Pinterest board here so I can look at it while I talk to you guys. So the 1920 shoot was essentially based around the most recent Great Gatsby movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm a huge fan of Leo, and this movie was just so, like, as a photographer, I'm just so excited about this movie still because the aesthetics are just everything. Like, they did so good. It was so beautiful throughout the entire movie. It's like they just synced the loud horn to the beautiful car when it's passing by. Everything is just so perfectly synced. And when you look at like the party scenes, you just see how it's so crazy, it's so hectic, the noises are loud, everyone's just moving around. You know, like the scene where Daisy's throwing his clothes out of the closet, it's so much, like everything is so extra in that movie, and I love that. So that's kind of what the 1920s shoot was themed around, like these really extra parties where people just have so much stuff, they're doing everything, they're jumping in pools, they're drinking, even though it's 1920s and prohibition and not everyone's in a great place like they are in this movie. But that's the theme of this. So I definitely drew inspiration from these kind of like film noir style photographs. Everything's kind of like high contrast, black and white, even the pictures that are in color are kind of like vivid and bright. And then another important thing for the shoot was the accessories. So I really loved layering up because I feel like even today, if you go to a 1920s themed party, you're going to have like gloves, you're gonna wear a hairpiece, you're gonna curl your hair, you're gonna wear pearls, you know, like there's so much that goes into this theme. So I wanted to make sure that we layered up in the shoot as well. Okay, so Emma and I shot these at my parents' house. I knew I was going to be doing it there, so I bought a ring light to be shipped to my house there. I wanted to have kind of like a simple setup. I wasn't going to do a lot of like movement or anything like that, just kind of like all in one area of the dining room in my parents' house because like their table is so beautiful. I know my mom has accessories for me that I wanted to use, like a lot of like beaded and like glass things on the table to have in the foreground to play with. Emma brought along a couple of things like a smoke stick for a big cigarette, and then we also had like feathers. My mom has peacock feathers for whatever reason, and then we had the gloves, the hat, the hair accessories. now I'm gonna bring you through kind of the editing that I'm gonna do on this set of photos. So I'm not gonna go with one of my presets. I might start there and kind of edit it into like a more dramatic 20s themed look. So the first thing I like to do when I edit is obviously crop for Instagram, and then also do fixing of my lens distortions, which just helps image come kind of this just helps the image kind of like pop and be ready for like whatever edits you're going to do to it. And then I'm going to apply one of my go-to presets. I have a few that are kind of like filmy, so I'll start there. I'll kind of go in a direction that matches the theme of my Pinterest board and everything that I've done for this like up till now.